When my sister came back early from boarding school, she didn't leave her room for 3 weeks. Last night, I unlocked her door and finally found out why. A month ago, my older sister Raven came home early from boarding school, about halfway through her first semester. She was wearing a white nightgown, and her jet black hair was hanging over her face. I thought that was weird, but I figured maybe she'd been sleeping in the car. I ran downstairs to say hi, but my mom stopped me in the hallway. Raven's going through a really hard breakup. She needs space right now, so leave her alone. Then Raven walked past us and went straight upstairs. I heard her bedroom door lock, and that was it. For the next few days, I barely saw her. She stayed locked in her room. My mom would bring her food and leave it outside her door. I kept asking when I could talk to her, and every time my parents would give me the same answer. She needs time. Just leave her alone. The only time I saw Raven was late at night when she walked to the bathroom. I'd crack my door open while she walked by my room to go there, and every time, she was wearing the same white nightgown that I'd seen her in when she came home. Her hair was still covering her face. She moved slowly, like she was a zombie. One night, I whispered her name, careful not to wake my parents up. Raven? For a second, she stopped walking. Then she kept going like I hadn't said anything. We used to be best friends. She used to talk to me about everything, and now she was completely ignoring me. I went to my parents the next morning and told them something was seriously wrong with Raven. My mom just sighed. I know this is hard for you, but your sister needs us to give her space right now. That's how we help her. But things kept getting worse after that. My mom started sleeping in the hallway outside Raven's door. She tried to lie and say it was because the bed hurt her back, but I knew that wasn't true. One night, I pushed my ear against Raven's bedroom door and heard her crying. It wasn't loud. It was this quiet, broken sound, like she was trying to keep it in. That's when I was ready to finally walk in. I was going to ask if she wanted to play Minecraft together like we always did when she was sad. But just when I realized the door was locked, my dad appeared out of nowhere. He said, "Go back to sleep, she's fine." But I was done listening to him. I'd lost my best friend, and no one was telling me why. And I knew exactly how to find out what was going on, because the next day, my parents had to leave for a few hours to do something for my grandma. When the time came for them to leave the house, they gave me just one instruction: don't bother Raven. But the second their car pulled out of the driveway, I sprinted straight upstairs. I stood outside her door and knocked softly. Knock, knock, knock. No answer. I pushed my ear up to the door and could hear Raven breathing. Here goes nothing, I whispered to myself. I grabbed a bobby pin from my room and picked her bedroom lock. It took me a few tries, but eventually I heard the door unlock. The smell hit me first. It smelled like rotten eggs and something else I couldn't place. The curtains were taped shut with blinds that stopped all light from getting through. I waited for my eyes to adjust, and then I saw her. Raven was sitting in the corner with her knees pulled to her chest. Her white nightgown was stained and wrinkled. Her hair was covering her whole face. She wasn't moving, and underneath her hair, I could see her smiling. But it wasn't the same smile from the Raven I knew, the one that could light up a room. No, this was different. It was the creepiest thing I'd ever seen. Hey, I stammered, trying to walk closer to her. Hi, she responded, and somehow her smile widened even more. But somehow none of that was even the craziest part, because that's when I started to look around her room. There were hundreds of printed screenshots taped everywhere. All of the messages that she'd received from people in her boarding school, they were horrible. People calling her disgusting, telling her to disappear, saying they sent the photos they'd taken of her in the bathroom when she thought she was safe to everyone. I turned back to Raven, and she was looking at me now. Suddenly, she began to rock back and forth, even making the floorboards creak. Her voice came out quiet and cracked. They're still sending them, every day. I can't make it stop. I heard my parents come home and immediately ran out of her room. I haven't been inside since.